seen a lot of collection videos, and rather than do a board game collection video, which I think I'd have to break up in a couple parts. I know I did at least 2 of them a few years ago. So an update on that is coming. As far as where's the videos, I don't really have an excuse for that. Just haven't really had the time to do it. But I was looking at my DVD shelf because I'm still reorganizing, and I noticed that I have a fair bit amount of Blu-rays. Now, I'm not saying I have the biggest Blu-ray collection, but it's one I'm fairly proud of, and I figured I'd show off my Blu-ray collection. I should say, inspired to do this. My good friend Corey C. Stove on YouTube. He just did a GameCube collection video. Go check that out. Corey, if you're watching this, I love you, man, and hopefully it can send a few people your way. But I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray collection because I haven't really been collecting Blu-ray that long. I definitely only think I started doing that, I'd say maybe a year before Marvel Infinity War came out. At least that's what it feels like. Or that's when I really started getting Blu-ray, and that was because that was when they were still primarily selling the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital movie combo. And not to knock the 4K bundle, which is still really awesome, it's just a little more expensive, and they're a little more hard to find. Including the, you can find the Steelbooks. Those are awesome. Also, shout out to Gare Bear. Dude has got some awesome horror movie Steelbooks that he has been showing off on Facebook. So, you see this, brother? Also love you too. So, just going to show off the Blu-ray movies here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yes, a video game or a board game collection recap is coming soon. So, let's get into it. First movie, gotta have Die Hard. The best Christmas movie there is. I don't care what anyone says. Amazing Christmas movie. The best Christmas movie. And before you go and write in the comments about it's not a Christmas movie, just know you're wrong. It's okay. The next one is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Weirdly enough, I don't think I've seen this one. I got this as a gift for the missus, and she hasn't watched that either, but we're a fan of the Jurassic Park movies. The reason I'm getting low is because I'm setting them on the chair next to the table. But we like the Jurassic Park movies. They're fun. Can't say they're among my favorites, but I do like them. Speaking of 4K bundles, this is Apollo 13. Funny story about this, me and Sarah were really getting into space movies, and we really wanted to watch Apollo 13 because we just got done watching The Martian, and I just finished Interstellar. So we just got done watching Hidden Figures, which is an amazing movie. And wanted to watch Apollo 13. Problem is, it's really hard to find Blu-ray or DVD, and Target was only selling the 4K bundle, which I'll happily pay for. I think I was like $20-25. If you've never seen this movie, go watch it. And as far as bundles are concerned, worth it easily. Speaking of The Martian, I actually had to buy a new copy of The Martian because my DVD copy got used so much it was scratched. So we actually upgraded to the special Deadpool variant of all the movies that were being released at the time at Walmart. So as you can see, I got this lovely face. But The Martian, definitely up there as far as my top movies of all time. Easily in my top 5. Love this movie. Alien Covenant, not the greatest alien movie there is. There are some really cool scenes in the movie as far as advancing the plot. I feel like it does more to confuse people than give fan service, but just like with Prometheus, it sprinkled a little bit of the alien lore for that people like there. So I guess there's just a lot going on. Spider-Man Homecoming. I like this movie, but there's things about it I don't like. I will say that the Blu-ray versions of all Marvel movies look beautiful. They I don't know if it's just Blu-ray in general, but they just look so clean. The reason I have such a weird issue with this movie is that Peter Parker in this movie, or Tom Holland's portrayal of Peter Parker in this movie, to me, he just spends 90% of the movie repeatedly making the same mistakes over and over, and even through consequence, he still does it until at the very end he realizes, oh yeah, it's more than just, being a hero. There's additional responsibility that comes with it. I do like the fact that they jumped straight into the action. This was post Captain America Civil War. So, I like how they didn't bother with any kind of origin story. We don't need it. We've seen all the other movies. Just move on. Speaking of moving on, Ant-Man and the Wasp, really fun sequel. I can't say if I like it more than the original Ant-Man, and that's because I saw Ant-Man in theaters and I had a really good time with it. Speaking of, Ant-Man also on Blu-ray. Again, really fun movie. I don't know why these got the hate that they did. Paul Rudd plays Scott Lang really well. They're not supposed to be taken as serious as the Avengers movies, including the ones with Thanos. So for everyone out there drawing those conclusions, stop. There's a reason why movies like Shazam are considered top-tier DC compared to their big team-up movies like Justice League. Just enjoy them for what they are, please. John Wick 2... John Wick series, tons of fun. If you love mind-numbing hitman action, Keanu Reeves is trained in both the gun kata as well as the actual firearm training. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the videos. Really cool at what he does. And it's really cool to see Halle Berry get in there and do the same thing too. And have people learn more about firearms rather than become so scared of them. If I haven't pointed that out, I'm a very big proprietor in the Second Amendment. So, I will say, if you're an American, you have every right to own a firearm. However, I will also go on to say that not everyone should own a firearm. So, with that said, John Wick 2, if you're very much into guns and action movies, that is perfect for you. And definitely, I'd say the first one probably is the best. Justice League Doom, I just got this for $2 at a Goodwill. I think I've only seen like 15 minutes of this, and that's mainly because I'm not really huge into the newer line of DC Universe animated movies. And not to say they're bad, they don't carry the same weight as something like Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which is really good. It's very good. If you're not familiar with this supposedly is like the big showdown between The Dark Knight and Superman. I won't spoil it. I will say, though, if you can't watch this, the animated movie, read the comic, please. It is so masterfully done. And, no, not making comments about Frank Miller, who penciled the thing. Wasn't a fan of his drawing style, not a fan of his politics, so he can go to hell. Venom, fun DC movie, except it's not, DC. Yeah, right. Sorry. Fun Marvel spin-off movie. These aren't connected with the MCU, although that could change. Fun movie. I like Venom. I do think he's a tad overrated, and that's just coming from someone who's read a lot of the comics, who's played a lot of the video games with Venom. I'm a little burnt out on Venom. Avengers Age of Ultron. These were on those Blu-rays that they were selling in the weird red labels. It's still Blu-ray. Really good movie. Don't know why people dislike it. Is it because of the character Ultron? I'm like, again, you realize that we were building to Thanos, and we do need characters along the way. And Ultron is a big tier character, and James Spader voicing Ultron I thought was perfect. I'll tell you what. Go watch Infinity War and Endgame, and a lot of the stuff that happens in there was hinted in this very movie. So go check it out. I don't know why people think it's bad. It's far from bad. It's really good. This one is blank. Okay. Oh, I know why. It's because my daughter tore off the label, and this would be the Frozen Blu-ray bundle with the DVD and Blu-ray. I have nothing to say on it. Moving on. Captain Marvel. I would definitely say the odd one out of the Marvel movies. I really think the only reason why they put her in there was so they could have a reason to have an OP character for Endgame. With that being said, fun game or a fun movie. Still haven't watched it in full, and I am going to be doing a go through of all of the MCU movies again. And fortunately, this and Far From Home will be on that list. Aquaman, really good DC movie. If they could just stick to things like this and Shazam, DC can do really good things. Unfortunately, they did stuff like Justice League, which left a lot to be desired. I'm really hoping the Snyder Cut can fix a lot of what this movie did. This is what happens when you try to push something too fast just to capitalize on Marvel's success. Let's see. Oh, okay. The 40th anniversary edition of Disney's Robin Hood. I actually got this from the Family Video that was going out of business, along with the Diamond Edition version of Peter Pan. Someone let me know if these are worth anything. Not that I'm trying to sell them, but I'm a huge Disney fan, and these movies are classic, especially this, because there is a really weird liking to the male voice of Robin Hood here, and not just my wife, but I wandered onto a stream with a bunch of furries, and they were all commenting on how sexy his voice is. Am I alone on this? Please, I don't want to be, but anyway. Yeah, my cousin was streaming this movie, and him and his furry friends were just going on about how sexy his voice is, and I asked him in private chat afterwards, I'm like, is this a common feeling? And he goes, does he not sound sexy? I'm like, I don't know. I don't find grown men's voice very attractive, so I don't know. But classic movie nonetheless. Love it. Let's see. Unrated director's cut of Dawn of the Dead. Out of all of the Dead movies, I like this one. This is very easily watchable. There are some slow bits, which are nice because the action bits are very in your face. Night of the Dead, classic. Day of the Dead, for me, was a little intense, but I still like it. There's some scenes toward the end that I can't watch. I know. But I still like it. And then there was Dawn of the Dead, which is basically not really a remake, but a remake that happens years later. Which I'm not gonna lie, the first version of Dawn of the Dead, I found to be a little boring. Good, but a little boring. You know what's not boring? Clowns. What's even better than clowns? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I found this at Walmart for $5, and first of all, the fact that they even put it on Blu Ray is awesome, because the original quality of this movie sucked. Anyone who watches horror movies hopefully are in the same boat on that, but I personally feel that the DVD, whatever DVD it got ported to, was not as good. So either watch it on Blu-ray in crystal clear format, or watch it on VHS for that classic horror feel, which I also love, which is why I have a copy of The Thing on VHS. It's so awesome. X-Men Apocalypse, still sealed. Because I saw this in theaters, and I was not a fan, but I got it as part of a bundle with another tri-parter with, right here. Gotta make room. Oh wow, I'm already 15 minutes in almost. Got it with the X-Men Blu-ray Trilogy bundle, which has the first 3 movies on here. I will say this, I like those movies. Even The Last Stand, there are some scenes that I do find really fun. There are characters in there that really made that movie. The plot is really dumb. The first movie, like, it's just crazy. Like, that was 99, 2000, I want to say. It's just crazy to think all that time has passed. And then you think of movies like Logan, and it's like that, like, this was the beginning, and Logan was the end. And then X-Men Apocalypse was basically up prior to Dark Phoenix, the latest and the newest X-Men movies. I will, like, how the movies rank amongst themselves are all over the place, so maybe another day on that one. Halloween, this was 2018. Yeah, 2018. Great movie. A little confusing for some people because it's a direct sequel to Halloween, the late 70s one, which completely undid anything that came after it. But for what it is, still a really good movie. Jamie Lee Curtis absolutely killed it in this movie, and I'm really looking forward to Halloween Kills. Got a new copy of Happy Feet. This was on sale at Walmart during their holiday season, so I think I paid like $2 or $3 for it. Gotta have Terminator 2 on Blu Ray. Probably the best Terminator movie of them all. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I only got that because it was at Goodwill for $3 and because it's connected to the Harry Potter universe. Other than that, I haven't seen it yet. Detective Pikachu. Also got it along with Fantastic Beasts. Got it for about $3. Haven't watched it yet. Heard really good things about it. The CGI in this movie I thought was really impressive. Passengers. You'll notice a lot of these have these family video stickers on there. Just so that's what those are. Really interesting movie, although I can understand why people didn't like it. I thought it was entertaining. I don't want to spoil it, but the premise of being alone in space when there are actually people with you, but they're in a deep sleep, and it touches on that a little bit, and it feels really, really gut-wrenching and visceral at times, but don't want to spoil it. Watch it for yourself. Check it out. I tell everyone, form your own opinion. Don't listen to the movie sites or critics. I mean, it's nice to hear another person's opinion. Just don't always take it as your own. Chef, amazing movie starring Jon Favreau. This one I talked about years ago. I absolutely love this movie. It's about a chef who was very in his early days, he was full of energy and creativity, and then he got a job working at this very cliche restaurant where he couldn't really do what he wanted to do. He was just sticking to a menu, and then he kind of locks horns with a food reviewer and ends up losing his job. So as a means of kind of like refinding that passion as a chef, he ends up going and getting a food truck, and then also with his friend and his estranged son, which he's currently, we're watching that relationship build because him and his wife are separated in this. And we're watching as like that's building, and his passion as a chef is reforming. And there are a lot of things as someone who grew up cooking in the kitchen with his parents that I can relate to on that. And if you're someone who likes food movies, check this out. Doctor Who, Day of the Doctor, the mini video, I guess you can call it, that's supposed to take place right around oh my gosh, names are escaping me. Oh my gosh, how am I not okay, I was right. John Hurt, his character as the War Doctor, which is basically a transition doctor between two doctors, but this is kind of expanding on that more. I haven't watched this. It's a big episode because, you know, David Tennant came back to reprise his role as a former version of the Doctor that we all watch, and then we kind of learn a little bit more about what's going on with the Time War and John Hurt's character, and it was just nice they were able to do that before Hurt died a couple years later. So check that out if you're a Doctor Who fan. Split, I'd argue Shyamalan's return back into suspense, because he was doing pretty hit or miss. I'd argue The Visit had a lot of potential, but the kid actors were annoying as hell. The Accountant, fun movie about it says he's a math savant, but it's more somebody who's dealing with like a mental disorder, or at least some kind of like learning disability, but he's an accountant, but he's also a hitman, starring Ben Affleck. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Go check it out. I don't want to talk too much about it. It's weird. It's a little weird of a ride. It's definitely not a marquee movie, but it is fun. White Line, I just got this at an outlet mall because it was part of a movie deal where I had to grab at least another movie to get I think it was like 4 for $10, and that was the only thing there that wasn't like a workout movie. But anyway, John Wick, already talked about this. First one's a classic, probably the best one. Found the first season of Daredevil on Blu Ray. Also found this at Goodwill. The Goodwill around me has been killing it with DVDs. I love Daredevil. I definitely think after the second season, I really started cooling off on the Marvel Netflix series. I watched Jessica Jones. I watched Iron Fist, which I was very disappointed in toward the end of that. I did not watch The Punisher. I did not watch The Defenders. And I didn't watch Luke Cage, honestly, because after that and those few things I did watch, I was just kind of done. But Daredevil, I love. They casted that perfectly. Fantastic stuff. Veggie Tales, Big River Rescue. My wife gets these for my kids. They both like them. I don't get it. Ender's Game. Fun movie. Really good book. Go and check it out. Basically about a federation that enlists a bunch of kids to train them to be military experts and strategists. And I won't give away the twist, but it's pretty messed up if you think about it. Ready Player One, a movie that I at first watch I was a little disappointed in based on me reading the book, which I loved, and then I watched it a second time and I'm like, okay, so this is much like the Marvel movies where the movies exist in their own continuity just like the books exist in their own. We gotta stop comparing. Good stuff. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm going to be the odd man out on this. Is this a good movie? Yes. Do I enjoy the video game references? Yes. The weird cuts really just drew me out of this, and maybe that's because I'm not a huge anime fan, and this definitely plays toward that. I like the video game. The board game's really cool, too. The movie's really good. But for me, it's not something I really jump out of my seat to watch. That's not to say that the acting is bad. The acting is really good. It's fun, it's interesting, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. Especially, I think maybe toward like the later part of the movie where it all just kind of feels like at one point it just kind of the energy just dips a little bit, and then it kind of picks up at the end, and the ending was nice. But still good movie. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, to me, it felt like there was a little bit of lull in the activity, and you might think I'm wrong, but again, it's okay. You're wrong, not me. Sing, which is it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie where a bunch of CGI animals are singing covers of favorite songs. If I remember correctly, the actor who voiced the gorilla in this, I believe that was used to help him get the role as Elton John in Rocket Man, based on how well he could sing in this. But this is a really fun movie, and I like watching it with my kid. Where are we? Oh, I got Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera at the Royal Albert Hall on Blu-ray. My wife's a big fan of this production, so that's why I got that. I got an empty copy of Thor Ragnarok on Blu-ray. I will say it's the best of all the Thor movies. I am not going to say that it was the best Marvel movie because I don't think it is. I think it's extremely entertaining. I think it sets up the events for Infinity War nicely and explains what happened during Civil War. With that said, I don't think it's as great as what people say. I think the huge shift in humor and tone are a little jarring, and with that said, that's why I don't feel the same way. Granted, great. Probably the best of all the Thor movies. Because I hated Dark World. Hated Dark World. War of the Planet of the Apes, really good. I'd say newer spin on these classic movies. Go check them out if you haven't. I'd argue they're even better. Let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Really good movie. What else can you say? Guardians of the Galaxy. I just love how it was a series that Marvel was like, this will be our fun little project movie, and if it doesn't do well, that's fine. No one's banking on it. No one expected it to do that well, and I'm so glad it did because they all killed it. Second one, I don't think as good as the first one, but it's still a lot of fun, and I enjoy it, and there's definitely a lot of really good emotional moments, both, happy and sad. So without spoiling it, go check it out. The other two Apes movies, again, go check out this series. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I do think that these are phenomenal, and you should go check them out. Mary Poppins Returns. As a fan of the first movie, I can't recommend this one too much. Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins, for me, she tried. It's kind of like Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin. He tried. It wasn't that good. At least not to me. Pitch Perfect 3, this belongs solely to my wife. I liked the first one. I watched the first two and part of the third. I think after, the first one was just a fun, good, all-around time. The second movie, I feel like they were just trying to cash in on that crap, and they knew what they had, and draw your own conclusion. The Blind Side, really good movie. This one is sealed because we always just seem to find it on cable, and really good movie. I'd say it's one of my favorite Sandra Bullock movies, because if she's not doing these, she's doing weird suspense dramas that I just don't care to watch. Or she was in Speed. That was cool too. She was in Miss Congeniality. That was fun. Kingsman, The Golden Circle. I like the first Kingsman. I still haven't gotten around to watch this yet. I haven't heard too much about it, which is a little sad because I really enjoyed the first Kingsman. Do I have two Rise of... I just realized I have 2 copies of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So if anyone's looking for an extra copy, let me know. Maybe I'll do a little contest for it. We gotta speed this up. Got Foxcatcher. Don't know too much about this other than it's supposed to be portraying a very creepy and cold person that was into very messed up things when he was a coach of an amateur wrestling team. Don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say that Steve Carell's portrayal of him I thought was bone-chillingly done well. Sherlock, Season 1 on Blu-ray, great series. I actually need to get back and start watching that again. Gone Girl with Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. Please watch this. This is a fantastically done movie. Great suspense, whodunit crime movie, and everyone gives their A-game material here. We are very far away from reindeer games with this version of Ben Affleck. Get Out, really awesome horror movie, and Jordan Peele's directorial debut. And boy, did he shock a lot of people when he released this, because nobody expected him to put out quality like this. But between this and Us and his upcoming Candyman remake, I am very excited to see how that's going to go. The World's End, the official end of the Cornetto trilogy, which was Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End. I love all 3 of those movies for all different reasons. They all exist to do 3 different things. I'm not going to say which one's better out of all 3 because they all do different things. The first one is a zombie survival. It's supposed to be a zombie survival horror, but it's also a comedy. The second one is supposed to be a cop drama, but it's also a comedy. This one is tackling a very, which is weird. This is the one where it tackles a bunch of guys doing a pub crawl, and you find out why the main guy is wanting to do this, and people are just reluctant to do it, and then, there just happens to also be an alien invasion going on, and he just happens to be the one to find out and stop it. Tons of fun. Watch them. Batman and Harley Quinn, this to me was the most overrated animated movie of the bunch that they did, and the only reason why people talked about it was because there is a very suggestive scene involving Nightwing and Harley Quinn, which I'm not really going to get into, but for what it is, it was fun. Let's see. I have Joker, amazing. Has nothing to do with the Batman movies. It doesn't need to have anything to do with the Batman movies. It exists in its own continuity, in its own universe. It is a very grim, bleak portrayal of the origins of the Joker character. Go check this out. I also have Stephen King's Doctor Sleep. This contains the theatrical as well as the director's cut, which there are a few scenes in the director's cut which explain things a little bit more, which is the version I'd recommend. Don't want to spoil this too much, but if you're a fan of The Shining, check this out. I have the complete Toy Story collection. This is before the 4th movie was even released, and it's the first 3 movies on Blu Ray. What can I say about these? Great movies. I have Avengers Endgame on Blu Ray. I got this the day it came out because this needed to be in my collection. I'd argue probably one of the best Marvel movies that has come out. And to cap off this half an hour plus video, I have probably what in my opinion to be the crown jewel of all of these, and that is my Back to the Future 30th Anniversary Trilogy Blu Ray bundle, which has all 3 of the movies. The first Back to the Future I consider to be my absolute favorite movie of all time. And I was able to get this for a pretty good price. And this was before they re-released it to be sold in mass market retailers. So I'd argue mine is a little bit harder to come by, but I also know it's not worth all that much. But love the movies, including the 3rd movie. I don't care what anyone says. All 3 movies are a ton of fun. But guys, that's going to do it. That's my entire Blu-ray collection. Let me know what you thought. I know I got some duds in there, but that's what happens when you're buying stuff that you yourself aren't really into. You got kids, you got a spouse, they all have their interests, and they're not always going to line up with yours, and that's okay. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long one. I hope you enjoyed.